Okay, this is the Saltfire Classic, and I think it's quite a suited name. This is an all cast iron stove from Saltfire with a classic design. It's got a fluted handle, so even though the stove's raging hot, I can hold it with a bare hand. It does come with a glove, so that's probably a good idea to use. And it has a static grate, which means it's got a grate and an ash pan, but it doesn't have a riddling system, and you can get it in several different colours.
What colours can you get it in?
Well, all Saltfires come in lots of different colours. Cream, red, they've got a whole colour chart, which I will put here. Okay, let's see how it lights. As always, start with bigger logs and slowly get smaller. And then a firelighter. And all the vents open. That thing got to temperature a lot quicker. I sort of forgot it, and it's now very hot. So yeah, it gets up to temperature in 10 minutes very easily. This stove runs really clean. I wasn't actually able to run it overnight. But when I've closed it down and run it for long periods, I've come back and it's still been clean. It runs at 80% efficiency. It's obviously eco-design and DEFRA approved. Overall, I'd say it was an 8 out of 10. This stove's a little full, but even now, I haven't got an issue with smoke spilling into the room. So there's a bit then, but it's pretty well behaved. When I put that new fuel on, it started a little bit, but that's pretty normal with new fuel. This is a typical Saltfire, so we've got lots of controls, which some people will really like. Others will prefer the simplicity of just one. But if you like accuracy, like me, you'll like it, because every single one is separated out. We've got the air from the back of the stove for really clean combustion up in the flue. We've got primary air for if you're burning coal, lighting it, just getting it hot again after sort of returning to it. And then we've got the main air control at the top. They are a little bit fiddly. These ones don't seem to get too hot, but this one gets a little bit tight. And it's obviously, you'll need a glove to use. If we go from fully open, actually, fully open everything, and then shut it down, there's a reasonable amount of control. That is without a DEFRA kit installed, so it's not super controllable, but it's good enough for most people, particularly for the evening, which is the target audience. It does have a static grate, but it's got a nice proper cast iron ash pan tool, which you can see here, and yeah, it's much nicer than the sort of cheap steel naff looking ones. The only thing I'm not a fan of is the glove, because you'll get soot on it and it won't stay that colour. But other than that, it's great. Speaking of the controls, if you watch the first impressions video, you'll know that this one sort of I had a problem with. I have done up the bolts underneath. Problem is not there. The control works exactly as it should. Now, the only thing further that is strange is, for some reason, to open this one, you push it this way, and to open this one, you pull it that way. I've never seen that on a stove before. Close down, close down. It just seems weird. We do a real-world test of fuel economy. We get the stove up to operating temperature and then burn a single net of kiln-dried ash on it to see how long we can maintain it at operating temperature. This stove did it for 7 to 9 hours, which was a respectable time. This stove generally is designed for sort of evening and weekend use, so not sort of built for sort of all day, all night, and it's high efficiency as well, so it's not that you're losing anything, it's just burning really, really cleanly and driving out loads of heat whilst it's in use. I really like the look and style of this appliance, but it's not perfect. The grate is a static grate, so you can't riddle it, which means it's a bit more sort of fiddly to use. I don't like these gloves, because of course they're nice colour now, but the first time you use them you're going to cover them in soot. So that's not perfect. And the controls are a little bit fiddly to use, and obviously they get quite hot. You know, it's definitely one where I might need sorry, I don't know what happened there. But to be fair, it is designed to complete a look, to run cleanly, drive heat into a room, and it does that perfectly. If you're planning to use your stove for the evening and weekends or when you're entertaining, then this stove gives you everything you need for much less money than lots of its competitors. It's got a really lovely classical design, and if you like that look, it's hard to argue with.